What up, everyone? It is your girl, Sharol. Welcome back to my channel, Slightly Dramatic. Thank you all so much for watching for so long. This is episode 17. If that is not crazy, then I don't know what else is, but that is pretty intense. So, for episode 17, what I'm going to speak about is how I have loved but never liked. So, this is one of the realizations that I've had after a really long time. I'm also going to be telling you where does it come from, right? As much as this may sound very profound in my head, the way I may explain it may not be the best way to explain it. I was thinking about how relationships, everyone speaks about relationships in a way it's like, oh my god, you should be in love with the person, and I'm in love with the person, blah, 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 blah. But no one has ever spoken about liking the person. Or maybe they have, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm the first one to ever find out about this. Okay. But I did have a realization, so I'm gonna make a freaking podcast about it. Okay. My creative juices are just. Mm. Anywho. So, throughout my life, I would like to believe that every relationship that I have been in, I have loved the person with all my heart. Like, I know there have been some where I'm just like, "Ugh." But that's a whole different conversation that we'll probably never have. But apart from that, whenever I've been with a person, I have wholeheartedly loved them. Okay. And I've loved them in the way of like showing actions. Like, maybe I'll not be able to say it like, hey, I love you. Okay, I will, but also I do it in other ways. For a 1 year anniversary, I'll draw out a whole book of how we met and how things are going and how much I just love our relationship. Or I'll make the person a mixtape CD, and just a handful of things that I've probably have done in the past. And the thing about this is, it's clear that I love the person and amazing. And when you love someone, you tend to do stupid things, which I think is completely fine. And as you should, okay? No matter what age, I think you should do a little stupid. It's only then that I feel like you actually love this person. But that's not what the conversation's about. The conversation's about liking the person. Now, we aren't really, I'm also going to read because, we aren't really a generation that has been through a whole vetting process. I believe that we have just started working, and I was like, oh, I mean, dating, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, I guess I'm just gonna date and marry this person ultimately. Because I love this person now from the 1 week that I know them, and we're hanging out and talking on the phone and we're texting every day. Means love only. What else will it be? I'm not doing this with every other person. So we're in love and amazing. We should just get married after just like dating senselessly. And during this whole process of being with someone, I came to realize, especially after like a lot of reflection and thinking about how my relationships have gone and how my relationship should be going on from this point forward, I've always realized that, man, loving someone has to be one of the easiest things, right? Because when you love someone, first thing, it's a really blinding emotion. I think it's an important, one of the best emotions to feel like raging love for someone, amazing, but it's also really blinding. So you can just go in guns blazing and you probably just have like a blindfold on your eye, and whatever happens happens, but you're like, no, I'm gonna love this person, and regardless of the way this person's treating me, I still believe that my love will be so much more powerful, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I didn't think all this, okay? That's a bit intense, but you get what love can feel like, at least if that's something all of us have experienced when in within our younger years. And I've come to realize that it's something that I can so easily do, and a lot of people can easily do. It took a while for me to realize that, okay, this is what love is. Um, but once certain relationships had ended, or certain experiences had ended, I came to realize that I didn't even like this person. Like, if someone had to ask me, like, hey, so like, why do you date this person for so long? And I'm just like, now, not to degrade my whole relationship, okay? Full respect to the experience that I've had, to whoever I was with, and I think all of those were really required relationships in my life to be where I am right now. So no disregard, full respect. But I think it's just like for me to realize that, oh, hmm, interesting. What did I like about this person? Because that was something that a lot of us do not give thought to when we are in a relationship. We tend to just go with the flow, or like I said, our generation didn't really have a vetting process. I feel like Gen Z are better equipped with the sort of tools and resources and whatever they have and need. It's like our generation walked so that these guys could run with it, and now our generation's still walking. The jog is not coming. It's been quite the struggle out there. So this whole thought process, where I remember the first time I heard about liking someone was back when I was in college. And me and my friend, we used to live together, and she was dating a high school sweetheart who she's now married to. Back then, she was dating, they were doing long distance, and it was a really sweet relationship. He would come and visit Bangalore, and then all of us would go out for drinks, and we had a lot of fun just hanging out together. And there was this one time after he had left, we were walking down to college, and she was just so excited that he had come. She was so happy, and she was just talking about how the relationship is and how she's happy. And then she said this one line where she was like, "You know what, Chiral? I don't love this guy. I like him." I was like, "Huh?" In my head, I'm like, that makes sense. But also, like, in my head, I'm like, this is brand new information. This is a brand new perspective on things. And she was like, "Yeah, dude. I like this guy. I like his way of being. I like the way he speaks. I like the way he talks to others. I like his presence, and at that point, I didn't really realize how important that concept of liking someone is. But when she said it, over the years, it really dwelled on me after every single time that I fell out with someone. I was like, oh my god, this really makes so much sense. Like, I have never thought about what liking a person, like how much more easier loving someone would be if I actually liked the person. I think there were people when we were younger who were lucky enough and genuine enough to want to be together and actually grow and learn about each other and like approach a relationship very sensibly. But then there were some of us who just kind of fell through a lot of the cracks and had to really figure things out on how to engage in much more healthier relationships, because there's so much disalignment in who we are as people. And I'm not saying that two genuine people did not go through this disalignment as well, but I guess they were strong enough in their personality type to be able to figure that out at such a young age. Whereas some people, as much as they need those relationships to get certain aspects out of them, but they really do need to journey through life a bit more alone, just so that they can understand themselves better and see what they value and who they are as people, to actually figure out on how to like the next person rather than love them. So here, this is what I've written. So the big question is, how do you like someone and how is that different from loving them? So, not to repeat myself, but love can be so blinding right away, right? Like the little things they can do can feel over the moon and you can romanticize the hell out of it. And it's really embarrassing, to be honest, with the things that I've romanticized about. And I'm just like, oh my god, this guy's so sweet. Oh my god, he came all the way with a sandwich to apologize. So sweet, and you kind of overlook certain things as well. And I think a lot of our idea of love came from movies and what we saw. So we didn't really, especially back then. At least now you have movies like Nobody Wants This, or a series like Nobody Wants This, or Off Campus and stuff, where they're showing like healthy relationships and um, boundaries and just how to approach relationships in a much more beautiful way. Whereas back then, I've repeated this multiple number of times, we did not have good example of movies that showcased great relationships. This is what I've written, and I'm gonna write it, and I hope this does not come across as cringy, which it may come across as cringy, but that's completely fine. Okay, so this is what love is. But to like someone is meant to observe them and to know them and ask them questions and understand them, give them the space to be and to express and to understand where they come from. Do they function from the ego or from the heart? Do they mean what they say? And do they do what they say? Do they say what they mean? Do they ask questions about you? Do they want to know more about you? N- How they not only treat you, because if they like you, they would treat you right, but how do they treat the rest of the world? How they look at the world and how they look at their experiences of the world and how they take into account yours. Do they match your values and do you match theirs? Do they speak well about the things around them, or do they speak of their experiences with grace? And do they treat your experiences with grace as well? Do they care enough to see through you and give you the space to open up to them eventually, or even in time? So some of my writing is really bad here, but anyways, so yeah, that's what I think liking someone is like. You know, I think once you are able to find out your values, and it's really hard to say how to find out your own values. I don't think it's hard to say, but there is a lot of work for you to realize what you actually value and what suits you as a person in the things that you value, right? Because it's only the relationship that I've had has actually brought me to where I am, and has had made me realize the things that I like and adore, and what I want in a relationship, and what I definitely don't want in a relationship, what I'm okay with and what I'm not going to be okay with. So all those experiences where, for me to be in love blindly, was really important for me to realize how important it is to like someone, and to know what exactly do I need to like about this person that will add value to my life, and how I can add value to the next person's life as well, you know. Over the years, I've learned a lot about love, life, and and I've come to realize for a long time that I didn't pay any heed to any of these things. I really did not pay any attention. I didn't realize how much I really needed to like the person that I'm with. And forget about the person that I'm with. I don't think I even liked myself enough. I don't think I even knew myself enough to know what I want to appreciate in the next person. There was just so much digging of dirt that I needed to do, and that could only happen with spending so much time by myself, journaling, getting into therapy, and doing so many of these things for me to realize what works and what does not work. And I think that is, I don't think it's spoken about enough. People really, especially I feel like our generation, I definitely think there are some things that that struggle is really important and you need to go through it, but then there are some things that we can really take away from the younger generation on, you know, healing and doing therapy and doing journaling work and touching grass once in a while. I genuinely think it's really important and really healing, and it's only through that do you realize what you are as a person, who you are, what you value for yourself, what you want to practice when it comes to the things that you value that bring alignment to yourself. And with that, you will easily find someone who you like, who actually matches your value, and who you would want to put that effortless love into. And putting that effortless love into would be 100% worth it when it comes to that. So yeah. Oh, and my concluding line would be, may like find you more than love, because the love will naturally just creep in. Wow. Amazing. So this is a really short video, and I did spend a lot of time writing about this and thinking about it, and I wish I could elaborate more, but I think it's pretty clear cut. And I do hope that whoever you are, wherever you are, wherever you're watching this, I do hope that if you're in a relationship, you actually like the person that you are with. Because sometimes you really need to question what you like about this person, or else you end up spending so much time with a person who you realize that, oh my god, I don't see any characters or traits in this person that I want to carry on in my life. You know, who's adding value through these traits and characteristics. They're adding anything in my life, and if it's for the long run, how is that person really going to integrate themselves, not just in your life, but if you have kids or if you have family. I mean, of course uh, everyone has family, but I do hope that you think about the things you like, not only about them but also about yourself and the things that you value in the long term. So thank you so much for watching. This episode was strangely short, and I hope you liked it. I really do hope you liked it, because I think I did really well in this episode. I don't know. I feel pretty confident about this one. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. Subscribe, like, comment. Okay.